Our bodies have evolved sensors all over, and these sensors, they pick up signals from the external world. One of those sensors are our eyes, and our eyes can perceive visible light. Waves of light are made up of photons. Photons are elementary particles, they have no mass, and so they travel at the speed of light, which is 186,000 miles per second. If the waves are really, really long, they have low photon energy. And if the waves are really, really short and tiny, they have high photon energy. There is a light source where these photons come from. The main source of light for us is the sun, but other sources in our modern day could be light bulbs, street lamps, and also our electronic devices. Whatever the source, photons move from it. They move in waves. Those waves bounce off the objects within our space, and those waves bounce back into our eyes. Our eyes, and also the eyes of other living organisms, can only detect a certain range of wavelength. So for humans, that wavelength is between 700 to around 400 nanometers. For other living organisms, they can detect maybe slightly above 700, which goes into infrared, or they can detect below 400, which goes into the ultraviolet range. The reason for this is because the light that actually reaches the surface of the Earth falls within those brackets of wavelengths. So the living organisms on the planet have evolved to detect only wavelengths in that range. There are high energy X-rays, gamma rays coming to us from outer space, from the sun. However, they are blocked by our atmosphere and our ozone layer. This creation of the atmosphere from early Earth, then changing atmosphere, and then the creation of the ozone due to the Great Oxygenation Event 2 billion years ago, created a barrier for the planet. So when these waves of radiation are coming in from outer space, from whatever source, a lot of it is being absorbed by the atmosphere and by the ozone. So then living organisms were able to flourish because these harmful rays of radiation were not reaching the surface. White light is visible light. On the 700 end, we have red. This can blend into infrared light, so infrared wavelengths. The next color down, the next wavelength down, would be orange. And just like here, my paints and colors are blending into each other. And that's just how it is with wavelengths as well. There is no clear line between the colors. The next one down is yellow. The next one is green. The next one is blue. And of course, finally, you got violet. The first eyes appeared over 500 million years ago during the Cambrian explosion. Initially, the eye would have begun as a simple light detector using photoreceptors. It would have been enough just to distinguish light from dark, and this is what actually created our circadian rhythms. In the Cambrian period, the eye diverged into two main lineages. One was compound eyes, which can be found today in adult insects, spiders, and crustaceans. The other type of eye is a camera-style eye, which includes a single light focusing lens. This is the type of eye that we have, and other animals such as octopus share this type of eye with us. Early fish, around 500 million years ago, also had this type of eye. For humans, vision is quite dominant amongst our senses. Around 1/3 of our brain's cortex is devoted to processing what we see. So our sense of sight shapes how we perceive reality itself. Unfortunately, sight isn't universal. For those without visions, the other senses, touch, sound, and smell, they expand within the brain's processing centers, and they create a different but equally valid experience of reality. Red has the longest wavelength of the visible light, and it often signals danger. It's also representative of fire and blood. In certain cultures, like parts of Asia, red actually symbolizes happiness and good fortune. Orange is associated with autumn, along with reds and browns. In the West, it's also associated with Halloween. In the East, however, it does hold more meaning. For example, in India, the color orange is quite sacred. Yellow is quite a happy color, and we use yellow to represent generally the sun. Yellow is also associated with gold, which obviously represents wealth. However, yellow can have some negative connotations. For example, when yellow is used in excess, it can actually cause anxiety and even insanity. Green is the color of balance and growth and harmony. As humans, we can actually determine more tones of green than we can any other color. Blue is actually quite rare in nature. It was once a luxury pigment in ancient times. Today, blue is actually the world's favorite color. Purple or violet has the shortest wavelength of visible light. As the wavelengths get shorter, they go into ultraviolet light. Purple is traditionally the color of royalty. It was very expensive to actually make purple pigment. Today, purple is associated with magic, mystery, and even of the psychedelic movement of the 1960s. Gold has always symbolized what is precious, eternal, and rare. Here, I frame the eye with a gold border. It's a reminder that our perception of reality is priceless, even within its limits. We've journeyed through the story of the electromagnetic spectrum, of photons traveling from the sun, from other light sources, how they flow in waves, high energy, low energy, how white light is visible light on the spectrum and it splits into the rainbow, how it comes into our space, bounces off everything and into our eyes. How our eyes then perceive because of the signals that get sent to our brain, and our brain interprets and applies meaning. And the meaning creates our reality and our perception. Thank you for watching this video. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.